Hello guys and welcome back to another video. Today we will cover game 1 of the match between Magnus Carlsen and Jan Krzysztof Duda from the FTX Crypto Cup in Miami. So let's see what happened in this game. Duda is playing with white and he starts with d4, knight to f6, c4, e6, knight to f3, bishop to b4. Magnus Carlsen goes for the bogey Indian defense, bishop to d2 blocking the check, bishop capture on d2 and queen capture on d2. Magnus goes d5, strikes in the center, g3, intending to fianchetto the bishop, c6, bishop to g2, and knight on b to d7. Duda here goes short castle, and now d capture on c4. Black here obviously intend to defend his pawn with b5 if white allows him to do so, but here Duda simply played a4. Short castle by black, a5, and now Magnus goes b5. Here as white, if you play anything else, it's gonna be really difficult to break these pawns, and black will remain a pawn up. So here you simply have to capture with your pawn. And now queen capture on b6. Obviously here black cannot capture with the pawn because the rook will drop. And also if you capture with the knight, white will go knight to e5, and he has a lot of pressure on the c6 pawn, and also he can capture the c4 pawn with moves like knight to a3. And here actually white's position is much better. So here Magnus recaptures with his queen. And now rook to c1. Rook to b8, counter-attacking against the b2 pawn. Knight to a3, bishop to a6, knight capture on c4, bishop capture on c4, rook capture on c4, queen capture on b2, queen capture on b2, and rook capture on b2. And here now we reach a position when black is still a pawn up, but these two pawns are really weak, and likely both of them will drop. So the question here, whether you capture this pawn right now and allow black to capture the pawn on e2, or you simply defend your pawn on e2 and then later try to win the black pawns. Here Duda simply defended his pawn on e2 by playing bishop to f1, rook to c8, and now rook capture on a7. Magnus goes g6, intending to play h5 and put his king on g7, rook to c1, h5, and now e4. And the idea of this move e4 is to simply attack this knight, and when this knight move, the knight on d7 will be lost. Magnus of course saw this and he simply defended his knight on d7 by playing rook to d8, rook capture on c6, knight capture on e4, rook to c7, rook capture on f2, and the point here is that if you capture the knight, black will trade rooks, and then he will capture the knight on f3. And here actually black is a pawn up and he has a fantastic position. But here there is actually a very nice move, knight to g5. White removes the knight on f3 which was attacked and also counter-attacks against the knight on e4. If you remove your rook, the knight on e4 will drop, and you have the option to simply capture on f1, and after king capture, you can capture the knight on g5, and here in this position, white will have an exchange for simply a pawn, and still here black's position is worse, but he still has some chances to play for a draw if he can manage to put his knight on d5 and simply try to defend passively. Here Magnus didn't go for this and he simply captured the knight on g5, king capture on f2, and now knight to f6, king to e2, avoiding the knight check on a4, knight to d5, rook to d8, and now rook to c8. Magnus goes active with his rook, intending to start giving some checks on c2 square, and now h4 attacking the knight, rook to c2 check, king to d3, and here is actually a way to draw the game immediately. Black can go rook to c3 check, and white will have to simply repeat the position. Because here if you go king to d2, now the other knight on g5 will simply join the game with a check, and here white actually is in trouble. But here Magnus tried another way, he gave a check with his knight. And his idea was that after king to e3, he can simply give another check with the knight, and then repeat the position and go for a draw. But he actually missed a very nice move. White here can simply give up his rook, and after the pawn recaptures, now white will win the knight on g5, and white now is a piece up and he's completely winning. So after playing knight to b4, Magnus realizes that knight to d5 isn't possible anymore, and he played rook to c3 check, king to f4, rook to f3 check, and now king capture on g5. King to g7 by Magnus. Now actually the white king is trapped and black is threatening rook to f5 checkmate. So you have to defend against this threat, and Duda plays bishop to h3. Here you can capture the pawn, but then the king will escape via f4. So Magnus first plays knight to d3, Now again he's threatening to capture the pawn on g3, which will lead to checkmate, but Duda simply played g4. Knight to f2 attacking the bishop, and now g capture on h5. Knight capture on h3, king to g4 attacking both the rook and the knight, knight to g1, and now h capture on g6. King capture on g6, h5 check, king to g7, and now Duda simply plays rook to a1, and here the knight is trapped. If you move your knight, the rook will drop. So here in this position, Magnus Carlsen simply resigned because he's going to lose his knight and his position is completely hopeless. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Please, if you're not already subscribed to my channel, hit the subscribe button and also turn on the notification bell to get our latest videos. Thank you guys for watching and see you in the next video.